While we're all complaining of self-isolation these days, let's be real. We're still in the comfort of our homes eating chips in our PJs. Someone who did not have that luxury when he experienced the ultimate form of self-isolation was retired Canadian astronaut Commander Chris Hadfield, who has spent hundreds of days in space over the course of his distinguished career. So who better to give Canadians some timely advice right now than the man himself, Chris Hadfield? All right, Chris, I feel like you are really the only guy who can give us some perspective here, because when we talk self-isolation, there's really no beating the isolation you've experienced.
Yeah, I've spent, good morning, Carolyn. Nice to talk to you. I've spent 166 days inside a tin can with a lot of danger lurking around outside and nowhere that I could possibly go. So yeah, I've had a little self-isolation, and it's not the end of everything. It's a big disruption to what you would call your normal life, but there are some opportunities and maybe some ways to deal with it, I think, that make it really not so bad at all.
And one of those ways, talk to us about the importance of a routine.
Yeah, on board the spaceship, every day, it's like every day is the same, but it's all right. You wake up at a fixed time. There's a morning routine to get yourself ready, and then there's sort of a briefing of what's going to happen during the day today, and then you get at it, and you just start ticking things off the list. We run about 200 experiments up there, and we operate the ship and take care of each other. And you're talking to people remotely all day long, talking to mission control in Montreal and in Moscow and Houston and Munich and in Tokyo. And so it's a busy sort of virtual existence. And then in the evening, hopefully after getting ready for the next day, you have a little chance to do some of that stuff you just showed, maybe play a little music or read or write or do something creative and different. And I'm not sure that's different than most Canadians' lives right now. Just it's much more self-directed, and you can be extremely productive. You just have to sort of take control of your own schedule in a way you never did before.
And I guess taking control of that schedule and making that schedule and building in that routine gives you a sense of purpose, and it also deals with the boredom that could come about and the loneliness.
Yeah, there's an unlimited number of things you can get into. You can pick up your phone and push 10 numbers and talk to anybody in North America. It's a great chance to reconnect with people. You can get involved in trying to help with the problem. I'm working with a company that you can lay your fingertip on a little visual sensor, and it'll hopefully be able to diagnose whether people have been exposed to the virus or not without having to draw blood or anything or take a spit sample. So, trying to help a company like that, there's all sorts of projects and ideas out there that everybody can be involved in. One other thing to remember is it can be a little bit trying personally. If you find that everybody you're dealing with is a jerk, then it's possible that you are the jerk today. So pay attention to how you are behaving too. If you notice nobody else seems to be good, then it's probably you that's the influence. So maybe take a little personal time and reset yourself.
That may be the best piece of advice we have heard all week. Chris, given that we are all doing this and that we're all self-isolating right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say self-isolation on Earth is a bit of a cakewalk for you given what you've experienced. Because when you run out of supplies in space, you can't just go to Shoppers and pick something up.
No, it's a completely separate existence. And so that's why becoming sort of good at it, spending the time to understand it, really know the risks that you're facing, so that you're not just responding to rumor and fear, but you're actually working in an environment where you understand what's going on, and then getting proactively involved in what you're doing every day, and taking a deliberate effort to do at least one nice thing for every other person in your household every single day without being asked. That works on a spaceship. I think it'll work in most Canadian houses as well. But don't let the fact that your life has changed mean that it has to have changed for the worse. Just try and recognize this is just a different set of circumstances, and whether it's going to be a great experience or not for you personally is almost entirely up to you. So dig into it. Take care of your spaceship. Be a good astronaut through this little space flight.
Okay, we will try and do that. Before we let you go, here on the morning show this week, we have started a theme, Learn Something New week, because we have all this time at home. So we know you're an astronaut. We know you can sing and play guitar. We've seen you do this in space. So we want to ask you, are you looking to do something new this week? Are you looking to learn a new language or something else, just to add to your resume, Chris?
My 4-year-old granddaughter is staying with us for the duration, and my son and his wife and our granddaughter live in China, and so she's teaching me Chinese. So I'm learning some Chinese this month, and I think it'll be nice that we could communicate. She speaks English fine, but I think it'll be nice that the two of us can share some words in her native language also.
Very cool. Chris Hadfield, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Carolyn. Be well.